Good day everyone, my name is CLYD Camilo and we are the group 5 and we're here to report about Philippine forest and wildlife resources. So in this report we are here to tackle about what is forest and the classifications of the forest in the Philippines and of course the wildlife resources that are in the same environment, specifically in the Philippines. So first, what is a forest? So, forest is a complex ecosystem consisting of mainly of trees that buffer the earth and support a myriad of life forms. The trees help create a special environment which in turn affects the kind of animals and plants that can exist in the forest. So, ideally, forest is essential in not just for us human being but also the other wildlife that can be seen in the environment. It also benefits from the forest. Trees are an important component of the environment. So of course, it is very important in the environment because for us, human being, forest gives us oxygen. The clean air, cool in hot days, conserve heat at night, and acts as excellent sound absorbers. So trees has a lot of benefits to us human being and also to the wildlife. Plants provide a protective canopy that lessens the impacts of raindrops on the soil, thereby reducing soil erosion. So, in terms of different calamities, trees are very important in providing benefit in terms of protecting us from, of course, soil erosion and other types of climate that are very unwanted to us human being that can cause casualties and other serious problems. The FAO, or the Food and Agriculture Organization, has defined forest as the land with the ground cover of equivalent stocking level of more than 10% area of more than 0.5 hectare. The trees should be able to reach a minimum height of 5 meters and maturity in situ. Forests are further subdivided into plantation and natural forest. Natural forests are forests composed mainly of indigenous trees and not deliberately planted. Plantations are forest lands established with planting or seeding or both in the process of afforestation or reforestation. So our government has its own program to benefit or to rescue some trees in the Philippines that causes by illegal logging or other doings by different organizations that causes it's from damaging. First can develop wherever the average temperature is greater than 10 degrees Celsius. In the warmest month of rainfall exceed 200 mm annually, in area having conditions above this range, there exists a variety of tree species grouped into a number of forest types that are determined by the specific condition of the environment there, including the climate, soil geology, and biotic activity. Forests can be broadly classified into types such as the taiga, consisting of pines, spruce, etc. The mixed temperature forest with both coniferous and deciduous trees. The temperate forest, the subtropical forest, the tropical forest, and the equatorial rainforest. So, proceed to the forest. Ecosystem or assemblage of ecosystem dominated by trees and other woody vegetation. Community of trees, shrubs, herbs, and shady plants and organisms that cover the considerable area that use oxygen, water, and soil nutrients as the community attains maturity and reproduces itself. So, ideally, trees has different benefits to human beings and also to wildlife. It's for us and human beings. It gives us oxygen. The leaves of the different types of species of forest can be used as a medicine for our illness, and also it serves us as an organism that covers the considerable area that use oxygen, water, and soil. So trees can be helpful at all costs in terms of different aspects of life. Lungs of Earth, the world's environment owes much of its state of health to the presence of forests, so too does human survival and welfare. A forest is a community of trees, shrubs, herbs, and associated plants and organisms that covers a considerable area that use oxygen, water, and soil nutrients as the community attains maturity and reproduces itself. So, as I have said earlier, it has a lot of benefits, not just as a human being, but also to the other wildlife. Um, Next, let's proceed to the types of forest in the Philippines. So first, we have the mangrove forest. So in the mangrove forest, occurs in the tidal flats as the mouths of the streams and the shores of the protected bays. The specific could be used in construction if they could be more durable by treatment. The representative species and benefits. The stand is composed mostly of about 7 species of the Rhizoporaceae family. The mangroves are the principal source of firewood, tan bark, couch, dyewood, and charcoal. Along streams in many parts of the tidal floods, there grows the nipa palm, Nipa fruticans. Its leaves are used to touch its sap for manufacture of vinegar, alcohol, wine, and sugar. So basically, um, we call it pagatpatan in layman's term. The next one we have the beach forest. Above high tide limits or sandy beach where the original vegetation has been left undisturbed, the frontal zone usually consists of a tangle of vegetation of fish pandan, pandanus, tectarius forms of conspicuous part. The principal trees are talisay, terminalay, katapa, dapdap, eraterina, variegata, var orientalis, botong, baringontonia, asiatica, palomaria, calopalium, inopalium, agoho, cosherina, Aquisetifolia, Bani, Xylocarpus, Molosensis, Antawilis, Ospornia, Octodanta. The next one is we have the Malave forest. So this type of forest is more open in a dipterocarp type, and volume of timber per unit is much less, average of 30 meter per cubic hectare. It occurs in regions where there are distinct wet and dry seasons, each of several months duration. During the dry season, the vegetation is largely leafless, but in the wet season, it grows luxuriantly. Under certain local soil conditions during the dry season, there are places approaching desert-like conditions on dry limestone. Ridges of Molave, Tugas, Vitex parviflora predominates. Most of the species found in this type of forest produce woods that are highly valued for their natural beauty and durability. Among the most important are Molave, we have Dinara, Heterocarpus, SPP, Dindalu, Podia rhomboida, Impil, Intia, Bihuga, Ankle, Albizia, Ankle, and Bunuya, while Scioldiendron zilibacum.
Dipterocarp paris. Muna yung picture na example sa Dipterocarp paris. This is the paris type in which member of the Dipterocarp family form the predominating timber species, about 75% by volume. They thrive under a variety of conditions, from most river bottoms to highly and mountainous country, and make up the upper story in more or less pure stand. The lower stories consist largely of unmerchantable species of scrubs and vines, including the rattans. From the lumberman point of view, stand ranging from 100 to 200 per hectare and are sufficiently heavy to warrant the use of mechanical means of construction. This forest type is the main source of raw materials for the lumber industry. About 70% of the entire lumber output is represented by 6 species of the Luan family: white luan, pintak, contorta, red luan, surya, nigrosinsis, tangil is Polisperma apitong, Dipterocarpus grandiflorus, yakal, hopya, and guso. Pine forest. Next. Asan eh? Muna ang pine forest example ng picture. This type of forest occur in the high mountainous regions of northern Luzon and Mindoro. The stand as a roll is open and scattered, average 45 per hectare. The principal species is the Benguet pine, Pinus insularis, while Tapaulao Mirkusi is found in the high mountains. Tapulao is not as important commercial as Benguet pine, while the pines grow in practically pure stand hardwoods are found in mixture with them and areas protected from fires, especially through as a lower population. The timber of the Benguet pine is generally used for mining and general construction purposes in the mountain province. These two species of pine supply turpentine and crochet. Next is mountain and mossy type. Muna ang sample sa mid-mountain and mossy type. Forests of this type found on higher mountains regions are essentially treacherous forests as a rule, rainfall and humidity are high, exposed to strong winds. The trees are mostly dwarf and usually covered with mosses, lifeworts, ferns and epiphytic orchids. The principal species are the Crydium podocarp, as Igunia discasternum is Quercus myrica, Diplodocus and Tristania dicorticata.
Philippine wildlife resources. As we talk about Philippine wildlife resources, there are some sample of Philippine wildlife resources. First, we have terrestrial wildlife. First, we have Philippine eagle, as also known as the national bird of the Philippines. And Philippine eagle is the largest eagle in the world. Second, we have tamarao. This dwarf buffalo is known and endemic to the island of Mindoro. Third, we have Philippine tarsier. Philippine tarsier, one of the world's smallest primates in the Philippines. Tarsier is notable from enormous eyes and long fingers. And we have marine wildlife. First, we have dogong. Also known as the sea cow, the dogong is found in the water around Palawan and other parts of the Philippines. And second, we have coral reefs. Coral reefs, the Philippines boasts some of the richest coral reef system in the world, particularly in the Tuba Reefs Natural Park and the Burbs Island Passage. And flora. Flora is first we have Rafflesia, known for having the largest flower in the world. And second, we have Nara. Nara, the national tree of the Philippines, is valued for its hardwood. And Philippine wildlife resource. Wildlife resource shall mean fish, wild, and their aquatic and terrestrial habits. The wildlife of the Philippines includes a significant number of endemic plants and animal species. The country's surrounding waters reportedly have the highest level of marine biodiversity in the world. The Philippines is considered as one of the 17 mega diverse countries as well as global biodiversity hotspot. In the year 2000 read list of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, IUCN, for 418 of the countries and 52,177 species were listed as threatened. The Philippines has among the highest rate of discovery in the world, with 16 new species of mammals discovered in the last 10 years. Because of the rate of the endemism for the Philippines has risen and likely will continue to rise. And function of wildlife. Function of wildlife. The beneficial use for function of wildlife and numerous in agriculture. This includes not the only the cropping of species growing in the wild, but also their potential for future cultivation and role is such process as crop pollination and biological control of pests. Wildlife animals are used in medicine for essential research. Wildlife plants provide a source of drugs, and wildlife plays can help to reveal the tension and stress associated. With modern living, wildlife is also a sensitive indicator of environmental change. Furthermore, research and education in the environmental science rely on the conservation of natural and semi-natural areas. These areas, the space which inhabit them have a considerable aesthetic value and have inspired many great work of art. Finally, there is a moral agreement that all species have the right to exist, and the option made possible by the presence of wildlife should be left for further generations to use. And we have example of function of wildlife, ecological balance. Second, we have human livelihood. Third is we have cultural reactionary values.
Classification of wildlife. The International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources has classified plants and animals in order of existence. Normal species. This includes species whose population levels are considered to be normal to their survival. Example, unggoy, risap. Endangered species. This includes species which are in danger of extinction, hence called the endangered species. Example is haribon, tamaraw, and buaya. Vulnerable species. This includes species whose population has declined to levels from where it is likely to move into the endangered category in the near future. Example is dogong, Philippine tarsier, or botanding. Rare species. This includes species with a small population. They might move into the endangered or vulnerable category if right measures aren't taken. Example is baboy damo, balyena, o paniki. Endemic species. This includes species which are only found in some particular areas that are usually isolated by natural or geographical barriers. Example is Philippine eagle, tarsier, Palawan peacock. Extinct species. Furthermore, there are some extinct species. This includes species which are not found after searches of known or likely areas where they may occur. Example is Tasmanian tiger or passenger pigeon. The Philippines is a source of wildlife and wildlife products. and a transmit point for trafficking, which is on the rise, driven by both national and international trade. The loss of certain crucial species is already altering the national balance of ecosystem, reducing their productivity for those livelihoods that depend them, drawing more and more Filipinos into the criminal world.
To put things into perspective, here are 5 facts about the current state of the Philippine forest. The first one, approximately 1/4 of the Philippines are forested. According to the recent statistics from the Forest Management Bureau of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, 7,014,154 hectares or 23.3% of the Philippines' 30 million hectare territory is forested, with 2,028,015 hectares close to 4,682,721 hectares open and 303,387 comprised of mangroves. The second one is the Philippines has 142 critical watersheds. The River Basin Control Office counts 142 critical watersheds in the Philippines. According to the RBCO, we also have 18 major rivers, 3 principal river basins, and 79 natural lakes. According to the Presidential Decree 705, a watershed is a land area drained by the stream of fixed body of water and its tributaries having a common outlet for surface runoff. Moreover, the same law defines watershed reservation as a forest land reservation established to protect or improve the conditions of the water yield, therefore, or reduce sedimentation. Meanwhile, as defined by the IRR of the RA 7942, our critical watersheds is a drainage area of the river system, lake or water reservoir supporting existing and proposed hydroelectric power, domestic water supply, geothermal power, and irrigation works that need immediate rehabilitation and protection to minimize soil erosion, improve water yields, and prevent possible flooding. The third one is so many species call our forest home. We've been told that countless species of plants and animals will lose their homes if we lose our forests. But how many of them are we talking about exactly? There are approximately 8,931 species of vascular plants and 1,196 species of amphibians, birds, mammals, and reptiles based on statistics from the World Conservation Monitoring Center. Of the planet species, 39.2% are endemic. Meanwhile, 45.8% of those animal species are endemic, and around 14.7% of them are classified as threatened. The fourth one is we've wiped out around 80% of forests in the Philippines. The Philippines are experiencing a staggering drop in the forest cover over the last century from 70% down to the measly 20% to be precise. Looking at the land use pattern maps and road maps, we can also estimate that we've lost about 9.8 million hectares of forest from 1934 to 1988 alone. According to the FMB, by 2022 we'll need to be rehabilitated 1.2 million hectares of our degraded forest lands. The last one, or the fifth one, is we've been working hard to rehabilitating our forests. So from 1990 to 2010, the Philippines are regained around 1,095,000 or 16.7% of its forest cover. This is largely due to tireless initiatives from both government and non-independent advocacy groups. Furthermore, the FMB's National Greening Program, which was launched in 2011, has succeeded in rehabilitating approximately 1.6 million hectares of forest as of December 2017. The program has been renamed the Enhanced National Greening Program and has been extended to 2020. The Dipterocarp forest. So this is the forest type in which members of the Dipterocarp family form the predominating timber species, about 70% by volume. They thrive under a variety of conditions from moist river bottoms to hilly and mountainous country, and make up the upper story in more or less pure sands. The lower stories consist largely of unmerchantable species of shrubs and vines, including ratans. From the lumberman's point of view, stands ranging from 100 to 200 metric cubic per hectare are sufficiently heavy to warrant the use of mechanical means of extractions. This forest type is a main source of raw materials for the lumber industry. About 70% of the entire lumber output is represented by six species of the Luan family: white Luan, Pentacmi, Contorta, red Luan, Shori, Nugrusensis, Tangile, Espolis, Sperma, Apitong, Diptocarpus, Grandiflorus, Yakal, Hopiha, sp, and Guju S. Gusu. The next one is we have a pine forest. So this type of forest occurs in the high mountainous regions of northern Luzon and Mindoro. The sand, as a rule, is open and scattered, averaging 45 metric meter cubic per hectare. The principal species in the Benguet pine, Pinus sularis, wine Tapalo P. marcusi, is found in the high mountains of Zambales and Mindoro. Tapalo is not as important commercial as Benguet pine, while the pines grow in a practically pure stands. Hardwoods are found in mixture with them in areas protected from fires, especially in droughts at lower elevations. The timber of the Benguet pine is generally used for mining and general construction purpose in the mountain province. These two species of pine supply turpentine and rosin. The last one is we have mid-mountain and mossy type. Forests of this type found in a high and very rough mountainous regions are essentially protection forests. As a rule, rainfall and humidity are high, exposed to strong winds. The trees are most dwarfed and usually covered with mosses, liverworts, filbert and epiphytic orchids. The principal species are Dicrydium spp, Podocarp spp, Eugenia spp, Dicaspermum spp, Curus spp, Marica spp, Simplochus spp, and Tristania decorticata.
Republic Act Number 7586, known as the National Integrated Protected Area System, which called NIPAS. Act of 1992 is a legislative measure in the Philippines aimed to conserving the country's natural biodiversity. This law acknowledged significant importance of human activities such as population growth, source explanation, and industrial development on the environment. It emphasized the necessity of protecting areas with the unique biological features of ensure the survival of native plants and animals as well as the overall ecosystem. The NIPAS Act establishes a comprehensive system of protected areas, integrating diverse ecosystems including terrestrial, wetland, and marine habitats that are home to rare endangered species. The Act promotes the collaboration among national and local governments and private organizations for effective management. It underscores that the use of these protected areas should align with principles of biological diversity and sustainable development, thereby securing these natural resources for the benefit of present and future Filipino generations. Section 2 of Republic Act Number 7586 declares the policy of the Philippines to protect and maintain the country's natural, biological, and physical diversities, recognizing the impact of human activities on the environment. The policy aims to ensure the perpetual existence of native plants and animals, current and future generations by establishing a national integrated protected area system which called NIPAS. So, this system will include areas with unique ecological values requiring cooperation among national and local governments and private organizations. The use of these protected areas must align with the principles of biological diversity and sustainable development. Section 3 Republic Act Number 7586 establishes different categories of protected areas within the National Integrated Protected Area System, which called NIPAS. These categories include strict nature reserves, natural park, natural monument, wildlife sanctuary, protected landscape and seascape, resource reserve, natural biotic areas, other categories recognized by law, conventions, or international agreement to which the Philippines is a signatory. So each category serves to protect and conserve various types of natural environments and biodiversity, ensuring that these areas are preserved for ecological and sustainable development purposes. 2.3 Community-Based Forest Conservation and Development. 2.3 and 1 Community-Based Forest Management (CBFM) shall be the primary strategy in all forest conservation and development and related activities, including in joint ventures, production, sharings, and co-productions. It shall be encouraged in all private sector forestry enterprises and ventures. 2.32 CBFM shall be collaborative undertaking of national government and LGUs, local people, communities, organizations, as civil society organizations. 2.33 Local cultures, values, traditions, religious beliefs, and the rights of indigenous people to their ancestral lands and domains as promoted and or defined by existing legislation shall be recognized the perspective in all forestry undertaking of the state and the private sector. Presidential Decree Number 705, commonly referred to as the Revised Forest Code of the Philippines, was enacted in 1975 to address and improve the management, conservation, utilizations, and developments the country forest resources. This decree aimed to update and consolidate existing forestry laws to better reflect the needs of the time and to promote sustainable forest management practice. Section 2, titled The Legislation, is officially named the Revised Forestry Code of the Philippines. So, Revised Forestry Code of the Philippines sets forth policies for the sustainable management of the country forest lands. It emphasizes the importance of using forest land for multiple purposes that contribute to national development, advancing science and technology and public welfare. It calls for a systematic and accelerated approach to land classifications and surveying, encourages the establishment and rationalizations of wood processing plants, and underscores the rehabilitated forest lands to ensure their long-term productivity. Policies. The state enacts several policies to guide the management and use of forest lands. First, multiple uses. Forest lands should serve various purposes, aligning with national development, scientific and technological progress, and public welfare. Second, land classification and survey. The process of classifying and surveying land should be organized and expedited. Third, wood processing plants. The establishment of wood processing facilities should be promoted and made more efficient. Protection and development. Emphasis should be set on protecting, developing, and rehabilitating forests. Republic Act Number 9147, also known as the Wildlife Resources Conservation and Protection Act, is a Philippine law aimed to conserving the country wildlife resources and their habitats to ensure sustainability. The Act declares the following key. First, you have a conservation and protection. It seeks to conserve and protect wildlife species and their habitats to promote ecological balance and enhance biological diversity. Second, regulations of collections and trade. It aims to regulate the collections and trade of wildlife. Third, international commitment. It commits to upholding the Philippines' obligations to international conventions related to protections of wildlife and their habitats. So, the law establishes the framework for a sustainable management of wildlife resources, emphasizing both local and global responsibilities.
That would be all. Thank you.